Hello, expert investors. I just finished my morning workout and I thought we'd do part two of this right now while I got the energy and smile on my face from the workout. So, what's interesting here is this is just adding more fuel in the fire and why I wanted to call this a part two to our conversation. We all know that population growth in Ontario, in Canada, and especially Ontario, is driving huge fundamentals in our real estate market and putting added pressure. We don't have enough supply. But where are housing completions? Let's quantify this so you can have a real conversation with yourself. And I want you to know this enough that you could have a conversation with your neighbor also, because the vast majority of people don't know this. Everybody knows we have lots and lots of population growth, but nobody knows what it means to them, how it affects them, and how they can profit from it. So let's look. This is Ontario net population growth and housing completions by 2 year period. So 29, 2010, 2013, 2014. They're measured in 2 year chunks. So never mind the graph I just showed you before that showed 1 million people. This is net, and they're reducing the number by a tremendous amount, whereas the graph before was taking into account every immigration source you can get. That's beside the point, because this red line is showing housing completions. Housing completions mean a house that's built new comes on the market in that year, not starting to be built, not housing starts, but housing completions. Okay, could take a year or two to build a house, so we don't know. This red line says in year 21 and 2022, we had a total of 150,000 housing completions in a 2 year period, an average of about 75,000 per year. Yet we had 383,000 people come to Ontario as permanent residents. And does that make any sense to you? Okay, it doesn't. It shouldn't. But that tells you it should reinforce the conversation that the population growth and the quickness of it is having a massive impact on our real estate market. And when you have something like this, supply and demand is either going to make you money or make you pain. If you're on the outside of the market looking in and you don't know what to do, you're looking to get in as a first time home buyer, this is painful to watch because this is putting pressure on the exact type of asset and the value of that asset that you want. If you're already in the game, you might be profiting from this. However, if you're not into the investment property game, you're missing out on a huge freight train of value growth, equity growth in your extra properties. And you're missing out on one of the most important things is the cash flow opportunity for now and for the future. Okay. It's always nice to make, gains in your personal home, but you can't really use that money unless you have a HELOC and you start taking risks that way. And I'm not. We do have investors who do use their HELOC, but under a very strict system that we use. But if you have other investment properties, if you have two or three, it just makes sense that your growth, your equity is growing at 3 or 4 times the rate. Okay, so this is what's so powerful about this, and this is what you have to know. And this freight train of population growth is not going to stop. When are you going to jump on? Okay, we're going to teach you. I want to teach you the exact system we've been using for 10 to 12 years now on how we acquire properties in Ontario right here locally, how we cash flow, how we rent them out, how we make and accumulate all these properties using financing from local banks, RBC, TD, CIBC, Scotiabank, credit unions, all that kind of stuff, local financing, and make it work so that we're increasing the choices you have in your lifestyle, helping people quit their jobs, helping people take dream vacations, helping wives stay home and take care of the kids, helping husbands quit those 12-hour-a-day jobs. We have a number of crazy stories, and these data points are what drive our strategies and drive our systems. We know where the freight train is going to end up, and we're jumping in ahead of it to profit on all that. So I want to see you in our next class. Check out the details below.